Now let us discuss the various aspects of a voltmeter. The purpose of voltmeter is to it measures voltage across any resistor or across any component, measures voltage across a component. This is the main function of this voltmeter. Now once you are using the word across, that means the voltmeter should be connected across means parallel. Consider a situation that you have a resistor connected to some EMF source and the current flowing through this is I. आप imagine करिए that there is a resistor जिसमें current I flow कर रहा है and you are interested in finding out the potential drop across this resistor. Now if you want to measure the potential drop across this resistor, then the device should be connected across this, isn't it? That is why we wrote that it is measuring potential drop across a resistor, and hence we conclude from this fact that the voltmeter will be connected in parallel to the resistor through which you want to measure the potential drop. आपने एमीटर में देखा था कि इट वाज कनेक्टेड इन सीरीज, बट इन वोल्टमीटर आप देख रहे हैं कि इट इज कनेक्टेड इन पैरेलल. यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई? बिकॉज इट हैज टू मेजर पोटेंशियल ड्रॉप अक्रॉस अ बॉडी, सो इट शुड बी कनेक्टेड अक्रॉस मीन्स हियर पैरेलल. एंड you can clearly note now that whatever main current I was coming, approximately you can say if some part of the current, say X amount of current has started going into voltmeter, because अगर voltmeter को कुछ रीडिंग देनी है तो कुछ करंट voltmeter में जाना चाहिए. In case the voltmeter has to show some reading, some current must pass into the voltmeter. Therefore, the rest of the current that is I minus X will be going into this main resistor. Main circuit में आप assume करिए कि current affected नहीं हो रहा है. Main circuit current is still I, but in case the voltmeter wants to give a reading, then some amount of current must pass into the voltmeter. We have denoted it by X, and rest of the current I minus X will be passing into this resistor. Now see what is the problem. Problem is that here the potential drop through this R is I into R. जो पोटेंशियल आप मेजर करना चाहते हैं वो I into R है, बट बाय सच कनेक्शन, आपके इस तरह के कनेक्शन करने की वजह से जो इसमें करंट है वो लेस हो गया है. द करंट थ्रू आर हैज बिकम लेस. दैट इज वाई अब इस रेजिस्टेंस के क्रॉस जो पोटेंशियल ड्रॉप है वो भी लेस हो गया. द पोटेंशियल ड्रॉप अक्रॉस दिस रेजिस्टर इज नो मोर आई आर, अगर इट इज आई माइनस एक्स इंटू आर. आपकी रीडिंग में एरर आ गया. योर रीडिंग इज रिड्यूस्ड बाय दिस फैक्टर एक्स. You understand? This is the practical problem when you are connecting a voltmeter. I am trying to highlight this fact that potential drop to be measured is I into R. Potential drop to be measured is I into R, but potential drop being measured is I minus X into R, but potential drop being measured potential drop being measured is I minus X into R. You understand? So, remember that if you want to reduce the error, this X must be very low. अगर आप चाहते हैं कि एरर मिनिमाइज रहे तो जो करंट वोल्ट मीटर में जा रहा है वो बहुत ही कम होना चाहिए, isn't it? और करंट बहुत ही कम कब होगी? करंट विल बी वेरी लो व्हेन द वोल्ट मीटर हैज अ वेरी लार्ज रेजिस्टेंस. ये करंट एक्स बहुत कम तब होगी जब वोल्ट मीटर की रेजिस्टेंस बहुत ज्यादा हो. आइडियली यू कैन से द वोल्ट मीटर विल हैव इनफाइनाइट रेजिस्टेंस, बट इनफाइनाइट रेजिस्टेंस प्रैक्टिकली पॉसिबल नहीं हो सकती. दैट इज वाई प्रैक्टिकली वोल्ट मीटर की रेजिस्टेंस बहुत ज्यादा होनी चाहिए. यू अंडरस्टैंड? सो आई एम राइटिंग दैट आइडियली voltmeter should have infinite resistance, practically voltmeter has very large resistance. You see the difference between ammeter and voltmeter. एमीटर की रेजिस्टेंस बहुत लो होनी चाहिए, वोल्ट मीटर की रेजिस्टेंस बहुत ज्यादा होनी चाहिए. एमीटर सीरीज में कनेक्टेड था, वोल्ट मीटर पैरेलल में कनेक्टेड था. लेट मी राइट हियर, वोल्ट मीटर इज कनेक्टेड इन पैरेलल. वोल्ट मीटर is connected in parallel. You understand? These are the main points you have to remember. That voltmeter will measure potential drop across a component. ये किसी एक component के across potential drop measure करता है. Voltmeter should be connected in parallel. Voltmeter की connection parallel में होगी. Ammeter की series में थी, voltmeter की parallel में होगी. And third main point is that ideally voltmeter का resistance infinite होना चाहिए. The ideal resistance of voltmeter should be infinite, otherwise errors आएंगी. If you want to keep the error minimized, then practically the voltmeter should have a very large resistance. You understand? उसकी explanation हमने यहाँ पे दी. Now let us see how can you obtain a voltmeter from a galvanometer. Now let us see how to convert a galvanometer into voltmeter. How to convert a galvanometer into voltmeter. The idea is very simple. The galvanometer had very less resistance compared to the required resistance of the voltmeter. Galvanometer की resistance 10 ohm के around थी, and voltmeter के across हमें resistance ज़्यादा चाहिए होता है. So simply what you do, you add a very large resistance in series with the galvanometer, so this will become a voltmeter. Here R is a large resistance. R is a large resistance. So I will say what is the method to convert a galvanometer into a voltmeter? This is done by adding a large resistance. This is done by adding a large resistance in series with the galvanometer. You understand? If you want to convert a galvanometer into voltmeter, then all you have to do, you have to connect a very large resistance in series with the galvanometer, and that will make it voltmeter. Now remember that the same method is used to increase the range of a voltmeter. अभी तो आपने galvanometer को voltmeter में convert किया है. Now इसी मेथड को यूज करके आप वोल्टमीटर का रेंज इंक्रीज कर सकते हैं, एज यू हैड डन फॉर द केस ऑफ एन एमीटर. वहां भी आपने देखा था कि जिस तरीके से गैल्वेनोमीटर में पैरेलल कुछ रेजिस्टेंस, स्मॉल रेजिस्टेंस लगा के उसको एमीटर में कन्वर्ट किया था, उसी मेथड को यूज करके एमीटर का रेंज इंक्रीज किया. द मैनर इन विच गैल्वेनोमीटर वाज कन्वर्टेड इनटू एमीटर, same manner was used to increase the range of ammeter. On the similar line, the manner in which you are converting a galvanometer into voltmeter by adding resistance in series, then same method will be utilized to increase the range of a voltmeter. So let us now discuss that point. Now let us discuss how to increase the range, of a voltmeter. How to increase the range of a voltmeter. Imagine that you have a voltmeter who can measure up to 5 volt. Imagine that it can measure up to 5 volt, but you want to increase the range up to 50 volt. You want that it should measure up to 50 volt across this. Then we say that whatever extra voltage earlier the voltmeter was able to measure only up to 5 volt, because some current was passing into it, say X current was passing. इस X current को जब आप voltmeter की resistance से multiply कर रहे थे, तो let us suppose वो 5 volt आ रहा था. But now my requirement is that voltmeter box, this is the entire voltmeter box now, it should measure up to 50 volt. अब वो 5 नहीं 50 volt measure करेगा. That will be possible only when आप इसका रेजिस्टेंस इंक्रीज कर देंगे. हमने इसकी सीरीज में let us suppose एक रेजिस्टेंस R कनेक्ट कर दिया, so that now the current multiplied by the entire resistance, that becomes 50 volt. You understand? Range of voltmeter is V, and you want to increase the range here n times V. Here n means 10 times. Let us suppose the aim is, let me write, aim is to increase the range, of voltmeter n times. So what we will do is that we are trying to say that potential drop across the original voltmeter, इस voltmeter के cross original potential drop, in case it was V, this was V, then V was equal to N I X times, V was equal to X times, X is the current, times the resistance of the voltmeter. You understand? जो भी इसके क्रॉस पोटेंशियल ड्रॉप था, दैट वाज सिंपली द करंट मल्टीप्लाइड बाय द रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ दिस. यू अंडरस्टैंड? रेजिस्टेंस इज आरवी. नाउ अगर आप इसका रेंज एनवी करना चाहते हैं, इफ द न्यू रेंज इज एन इंटू वी, देन दिस इज एक्स टाइम्स. हियर वी आर मेकिंग एन अजम्पशन. यहां हमारा एक अजम्पशन ये है कि इस रेजिस्टेंस के कनेक्ट करने की वजह से जो मेन करंट एक्स है उस पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा है. दिस मेन करंट एक्स इज नॉट अफेक्टेड बाय एडिंग दिस रेजिस्टेंस आर. ये हमारी अजम्पशन है. सो हियर यू विल से दैट एक्स मल्टीप्लाइड बाय रेजिस्टेंस ऑफ द वोल्ट मीटर प्लस दिस एडिशनल न्यू रेजिस्टेंस आर, this should satisfy this condition. You understand? If you solve this, if you divide these two expressions, then you will get that the new resistance which you have added, that is simply n minus 1 into resistance of voltmeter. The idea is that you can increase the range. आप वोल्टमीटर की रेंज अगर n टाइम्स इंक्रीज करना चाहते हैं तो सिंपली आपने एक एडिशनल रेजिस्टेंस n माइनस 1 इंटू आरवी इस वोल्टमीटर के सीरीज में कनेक्ट करेंगे. मेथड क्या हुआ? व्हाट इज द मेथड? मेथड इज बाय एडिंग resistance n minus 1 into RV in series. By adding resistance n minus 1 into RV in series with the voltmeter. You understand? So these are some of the main points you have, that if voltmeter is connected, it is connected in parallel, and ideally it had very large resistance, but the manner in which you converted a galvanometer into voltmeter, the same method we are utilizing to increase the range n times. N times increase of resistance will require that an additional resistance n minus 1 into RV, an additional resistance n minus 1 into RV should be connected in series with the voltmeter, and that will increase the range n times. Clear? Now let us discuss the third component in this lecture, that is about potentiometer.